Is your life a hot mess right now? Are you a train wreck? Do you feel like you're constantly running and never resolving or resting? Do you know the answers to the most fundamental questions like, who am I? Why am I here? I'm with you. In this video, we're going to talk about 4 pictures, 4 images that are static and stable. We're going to look at them, and by looking at them, come to understand the meaning of life. All of us are trying to figure it out. Big existential questions. Now, in our culture presently, it does seem that we are shredding the blueprints. We're kind of ripping up everything and starting from scratch. Seems like we do that every few years, but we don't have to. Pope Benedict XVI once said that the church holds on to the memory of what it means to be human in a civilization of forgetfulness. That's really wild. It's like Mother Church has this giant photo album like that your grandma had and opens it up, and there's all these photographs that go back generations. So today I want to talk a little bit about some of those photographs. And there are actually 4 photographs of us as men and women that we can look at. And by looking and gazing at these images, these 4 photographs, we can start to remember who we are. And some of them are quite magical. Some of these photographs actually point to a future for some of us of what we will become. For women and for men, the 4 photographs are essentially the same. They just balance out each other. Our youngest images, our baby pictures, if you will, are sons and daughters. Every one of us comes into the world as a son and as a daughter. Then we mature and grow a little bit, and then we are sisters and brothers. Everyone in the world, maybe biologically has sisters or brothers, but certainly humanly, societally, we enter into relationships with other people who become brother or sister. And we actually still use that language, even though we're not biologically related. Then we move into the 3rd photograph, and we look at this image and we see spouse. Maybe it's husband, maybe it's father. And by the way, this is for the celibate as well as for the married person. We're called to enter into spousal love. More on that later. The 4th photograph, and this is really the crown jewel in the photo album, it's the one with like gold leaf around the edges. This is a really special one, is mother, father. It's the crown and it's the high achievement of every man and every woman, either in the physiological world of marriage and family or the spiritual world in the life of the church. Fatherhood and motherhood is the crown. And that's where we spill back over again and with God's help create sons and daughters who become brothers and sisters, who become spouses, and then mothers and fathers. So let's step back and look at each of these 4 photographs and do a little contemplation so we can understand again where we've come from, where we are now, and where we're going. So, sons and daughters. Notice, by the way, that this is not something that you can create. Okay, so you do not design yourself. You do not spontaneously combust into the world. You are gifted with sonship and with daughterhood. It's a gift from God. It's a gift from your parents. And we receive it. That's key. Our life, the origin of our life, is an absolute gratuitous gift. You don't have to do anything. It's really being. It's being beloved. And we see this in the life of Jesus, right? He is the beloved Son in whom the Father is well pleased. What a great way to start life, right? That there's no expectations. You just have to drink and eat and sleep and live, right? You don't even have to pay taxes for almost 2 decades. You're just gratuitously receiving everything around you in your family and in the world at large. Now, we'll return to this a little bit later, but the icon of being a son who is beloved and a beloved daughter is something you should live throughout your life, all the way up to that crown of father and mother. We never lose really any of these images. So we're always called to this receptivity from the Father above of the giftedness of life. Now, as we move through being beloved sons and daughters, we grow and mature, and we look up and we start to recognize that we're part of a larger family. We enter into the phase of brother, sister. Again, this could be immediate. It could be siblings, but it's also your neighbor. It's the person beside you. It's the mystery of what the philosophers call alterity, otherness. And this is wild. We kind of discovered in our parents first too, and in our siblings possibly, but you look and see the ones who are not me. And by that interaction, we start to get stretched a little bit. We start to learn empathy, compassion, understanding, charity. Also the wonder of exploring the world. We see different perspectives in our brothers and sisters, different insights. And by sharing all of these gifts of vision and accomplishment and dreaming, our life gets richer. St. Columban once said, "A life unlike your own can become your greatest teacher." So brother and sisterhood, these are amazing phases of life. Again, in the nucleus of your family, but as you move into the world, and you can see brothers and sisters, like living that reality goes throughout the end of your life. And sometimes we're really gifted with people who are very close to the sphere of our hearts. Jesus, again, the beloved Son, is also a brother. He has that band of brothers, the apostles. Even within the band of the 12, Jesus has the three. He's got Peter, James, and John. So this concept of brotherhood and connection is really important. Jesus shows us this. He also has sisters. In particular, we see Martha and Mary and Bethany. They are very close to Jesus' heart, and he loves to just go and spend time with their brother Lazarus and with these two sisters. Now, these first two phases of life, again, that we all go through are still gift. You're gifted with your own sonship, your daughterhood. You're gifted with brothers and sisters. Now comes the turn. The second two images we're contemplating here of being spouse and then mother or father, this is where we give back, right? We've been receiving the gift of love and life. Now we say, I choose to enter this dynamo. Now I want to be creative or procreative even by giving back what I've received. We enter into spousal love. Now, it's interesting again because Jesus enters this as well. Jesus becomes, in Scripture, the bridegroom, and the church is his bride. So this dynamic of spousal love, this is part of all of our journeys. We enter into intimacy, right? It's not just a cold, clinical, professional relationship, this human life, but it's giving ourselves and receiving others in such an intimate way that we move into the next phase. It turns into fatherhood and motherhood, right? We give so much, all of ourselves, that the magic happens, that there is life. And again, if you're celibate for the kingdom, a consecrated religious priest, as much as a father or a mother in a marriage and family situation, you're seeing a spillover. You're seeing that you want to make love. You want to make love present in the world. Priests and religious make this present in their communities and in their parish life. They make it present wherever they minister. Moms and dads make it present in the home. And so that starts to radiate out into the world. This is God's plan for us. And moving through these 4 stages will bring us to that ultimate vocation of love. That is everyone's vocation. Now, we have to go through these stages. And remember that they interpenetrate and swirl around. We begin our day, really, as beloved sons and daughters of the Father. That's how we get the strength to learn how to love and gift as mothers and fathers. So there's not like a check where I'm done with that, but we keep moving and moving and moving. This is God's plan. This is what builds a culture of life and of love. And it's a call out of me and into we, out of isolation and self into the mystery of, again, alterity or otherness. One of the tragedies of our present culture is we can sometimes stop, we can stagnate, we can stay at one level. It's Peter Pan syndrome. It's the failure to keep going and growing up and spilling over into life. But we have to go the distance. To become fully alive, to become fully human, we go all the way up and enter into that dynamo that is imaged in the Father himself, who gives to his beloved sons and daughters. Hello, friends. It is with great pleasure that I announce and invite you to attend a pilgrimage to England, July 16th to the 25th of 2024. tobpilgrimages.com is where you can sign up and find more information. I will be traversing the English countryside, Oxford University, the Tower of London, Westminster Abbey, and the heart of London itself, in the footsteps of C.S. Lewis, J.R.R. Tolkien, and G.K. Chesterton. This is going to be a blast. BYOP, bring your own pipe, as we dive into the great stories of the Inklings, the Chronicles of Narnia, the Lord of the Rings. Where these stories were conceived and written, we will walk that soil. We will spend time in that air where these literary giants gifted the world with Christian imagination. Father Kevin Fox is our chaplain. Mike Mangione will be with us to provide some amazing music as we tour the churches, pubs, and countryside of England. Join us again July 16th to the 25th of 2024. tobpilgrimages.com has more information. Can't wait to see you there.